That is why I created one question for our discussion and understanding. Causes of electric fires and explosion. Because a lot of incidents are happening because of electricity, and especially the fires and the explosion because of electricity. But what are the causes? I always believe that doctor is not a good doctor. He can't prescribe the right medicine until he diagnoses the real causes of sickness. That is why before we discuss electricity, it's much better to evaluate what kind of causes could be there. That is why electrical fires we face or kind of explosion even. Like I hope sometime you would have seen like the person was working on the electric panel and it's all blasted. Sometimes just because of short circuit, a huge fire started up. Even static electricity, static electricity means even if I rub this one and some energy is already created. So because of friction, some static electricity is created, and that is another reason a lot of incidents are happening. So being an experienced safety professional, that is why I created this question, what are the causes of electric fires and explosions? And I really need your valuable feedback on it. What do you think? What are the causes of electric fires and explosions? You can give your response in the chat box, or even you can speak up. It's up to you. What are the causes of electric fires and explosions? As per your experience, as per your understanding. Like the people are sleeping at home and early morning they found the news, the whole company is burned. And the moment they evaluated the reason, they found electric short circuit was there. Like Mr. Mashari, absolutely right. The overload, is one of the terrible reason, I would say. Sometimes we are overloading, sometimes the system is overloading. It's not like overloading. Even sometimes system is not supplying as per our required demand actually. Demand is high, supply is less, maybe for 1 minute, maybe for 2 minutes, and it's all over. And I totally agree the bad quality on wiring, especially the material we use for electrical wiring. If it is not globally recognized and standardized material, then of course more chances of electrical fires or explosions. One of the incident happened, especially in the confined space. A two-person just came and they started plugging. Unfortunately, no gas testing, nothing. And it's all a huge fire and explosion started up. Just they plugged because they have no understanding what is H2S and how other toxic elements could be there. And if our environment is extremely flammable, how come you can plug in? So several incidents are happening because of poor knowledge also. So no grounding. I agree, Mr. Ryan. No grounding, no bonding. I mean, you just gonna be surprised. Sometimes a small spark and it's all over. and nobody can stop, even though you have sometimes the solid system, trip system is there, but I'm surprised how come still accidents are happening, like the system is designed based on prevention rules and regulations, it's not like protective measures. They design electrical systems on prevention rules actually, because prevention is better than cure, but still accidents are happening. One of the reasons, like Mr. Mishari mentioned, overload, and also the bad quality of wiring and no grounding. I agree, Mr. Ryan. Any other cause of electric fires and explosion? Like you are having a big storage tank for oil. Take an example of Saudi Aramco. Imagine if there is no bonding or no earthing, in other words, and you are going to pour from the top, like, the putting the liquid inside, petrol or diesel or whatever. No, if that liquid is hitting to the ground, again a friction, right? So because of that kind of static electricity, sometimes explosions are happening. If proper safety regulations are not followed or implemented even. And yes, Mr. Ali, but totally agree. And this is the most neglected area. The lack of inspection, visible inspection is there. Like visual inspection is there, but inside what is happening to our wiring, or what is the situation of our panels from internal side, like deep inspection is not there. I totally agree, and this is the horrible kind of area if someone is ignoring actually. Lack of inspection. Any other cause you believe could be there because of electricity? And yes, this lack of calibration, there are certain meters available. You can check, either our system overall is working good or not. Otherwise, same like for fire system, we should have third party to double check and verify randomly, not frequently, but at least might be quarterly, might be biannual, or at least annually. Just double check and have a complete electrical system survey, and they will give you, by using several tools, they'll give you the right set of report. Either your system is still valid, or you need some overhauling, or you need to change some wires or some breakers, or any bad quality related to electrical system is there. They will surely highlight, because that is their job, and one of the area is, of course, the calibration. Like, all the measuring equipment need to be calibrated, and most importantly, this calibration must be done by the external accredited laboratories, like if any voltmeters are there, ampere meters are there, several things, and you also have some monitors in hand, to double check the system is okay or not. If those measuring equipments are not calibrated, it's a huge issue, and one of the terrible phenomena, the moment you completed your overall wiring, even though we have consultant, like we constructed a building through a contractor, and we hired a qualified consultant, but not a electrical expert, to be very honest. He's a consultant to verify that the contractor is working whatever we agreed through the BOQ, through the purchase order, or any contractual terms, whatever we signed. Of course, the consultant will be keeping an eye on each segment, but he's not an electrical expert, to be very honest. So I totally agree. Later on, the whole system should be calibrated, and validation, not only calibration, even quality assurance or quality validation of our electrical system is also so much imperative or important, and it must be done, and it must be made by legally mandatory also. Once the whole electrical system is done, wiring is done, all panels now, before you commission, before you even hand over, The whole system must be calibrated, that there isn't any chance of any mishap, inshallah. Thank you very much, Mr. Ali. This is something very technical you highlighted, lack of calibration. Any other point you believe still we can highlight? We're talking about the causes of electric fires and explosion. So that is our experience or kind of opinions. Now let's see a few of the list here as well. Electrical fires and explosion, one of the reason is the faulty electrical equipments overheating, because we are using a lot of electrical equipments. Overloaded system, like already mentioned by one of the gentlemen, overheating during charging. Equipment may be misused, flammable atmosphere, with wrong type of equipment, accidentally created electrical equipment producing heat or spark in normal use, and poor internal electrical connections. This loose connection, not only poor electrical connection, sometimes the loose connection, just it's not tightened enough, and small spark, and later on it's all over. That is why I mentioned the word deep inspection, or in other words, micro level inspection. That means internally we are opening every panel, we are double checking that all the like nut bolts and screws, everything is fully tight and no wire is loose actually. And in one of the company, let me share with all of you, one of the company, I was doing auditing, and you'll be surprised how many things I found in electrical panels. Their lunch boxes, their personal belongings, and how come you guys, can play with your life? And why those panels are not locked by the electrical department, or at least the maintenance department? And even no rubber mat was there right in front of the electric panel. Anybody can open anytime. Some locks are even not functioning actually. You want them to lock, but you can't because they're already faulty actually. So yes, the human behavior again, and here we truly need to convince our whole team members or our employees, janitor to general manager, that whoever see any naked wire, broken switch, any kind of issue, any small spark from anywhere, or any extension they noted is overloaded, they must report actually, because their on-spot reporting can save the whole company. But again, convincing people or our employees to report is another challenge, by the way. And our safety inspectors, daily safety inspections are there. We truly need to make them fully understand area wise, like they have to focus on each area. Oh, any electrical hazard is there, any kind of fire hazard is there, any chemical hazard. So categorically we need to train their minds actually. The moment they're going to go, not only the checklist only, because no doubt on the checklist we have several points, but are they stopping on that point, or they are just ticking actually? I hope you got the point. So if we train our daily inspectors little bit more deeper, surely they will find several points proactively, and corrective preventive actions definitely we're going to implement. And this is another way we can avoid several fires and explosion accidents or incidents because of electricity.